I think it's fair to say that opinions on ETBs can be quite, dividing. Perhaps the most sought-after piece of sealed merchandise aside from booster boxes, Elite Trainer boxes, or ETBs, have had a decently long history spanning back to the early 2010s, and they're a fun topic of conversation, as well as a fun bit of collecting for everyone from casual to hardcore players and everyone in between. With good reason, too. There have been dozens of striking permutations of Elite Trainer boxes throughout the years, and with some of the more exclusive Pokémon Center boxes for newer sets being highly desirable, having a small wall of Target's plastic cereal bins full of either opened or sealed ETBs is seemingly becoming more normal. Though it's not and doesn't have to be normal for everyone, and I want to discuss both the appeal and slight obnoxiousness of trying to collect ETBs. Regardless of whether you want to open the packs and goodies inside, or if you want to toss all of your boxes in a container for the next 10 to 20 years, until selling a few of them can net you a down payment on a small car. With that said, let's take a slight deep dive into the history, appeal, and frustration of Elite Trainer boxes. Newer people to the scene, and possibly even those who have been around for a while, may not be aware of the decently long history of Elite Trainer boxes and their journey in value over the years. And I'm talking about literal value as a consumer, not just their occasionally sky-high aftermarket prices. The Elite Trainer boxes of today typically feature dice, counters, markers, sleeves, dividers, a promo, and of course, packs. Not pictured here because I, opened them. But this hasn't always been the case, and it took a while to get to the point that we're at today. Originally concepted and released during the black and white era of the TCG, the first ever ETB hit store shelves on February 6, 2013 for an MSRP of $40 with the release of Plasma Storm, and it was an interesting one. Plasma Storm's Elite Trainer box was almost like a beta release of the ETB concept. Featuring the typical pack-in bonuses like dice, counters, energy cards, and a set guide, it also had a nifty little deck box with the ETB's Lugia art plastered on it. A neat feature that would be removed from all future Elite Trainer boxes, never to return. Probably due to the fact that the dividers included in every box thereafter makes the ETB itself function as a multi-deck box on its own. The Plasma Storm box also had no sleeves in it, something that would be rectified in the box released after this one, Plasma Blast. Plus, Plasma Storm only had 7 packs. Even those of you who have been collecting for a while might be saying, wait, 7 packs? Yep! Despite older ETBs almost all coming with 8 packs minus specialty sets, including the Celebrations ETB having 15 packs, Plasma Storm only had 7 while also missing out on the sleeves and dividers that came with the boxes afterwards. Thus, why I say it's kind of a beta ETB. Everything that seems odd about this box would be rectified and codified afterwards from the second box onward until we hit the Scarlet and Violet era, when 9 packs with a promo included in all sets and a jump to $50 MSRP became the standard. That's another fun bit about pre-Scarlet and Violet era ETBs. Almost none of them had promo cards outside of the specialty set Pokémon Center boxes, but the early Pokémon Center ETBs had metal dice, metal counters, or even a metal coin. On some occasions, the Pokémon Center ETBs would also have a pin in it like with the Lost Origin box, or an extra set of sleeves as with Silver Tempest. The things they've taken away from us. It's truly disheartening. I do mean that genuinely too, even if it's a mixed bag on what was and wasn't included in the past. Having metal anything in this economy sounds amazing as a pack-in. As I mentioned a little earlier though, starting with the Scarlet and Violet era, promos became a standard inclusion in all Elite Trainer boxes, and it's been a welcome change, especially seeing as how even most of the Pokémon Center ETBs wouldn't have a promo before the change. The first ever promo to actually appear in an ETB was in the Generations ETB back in July 2016 with a beautiful Shaman EX. I believe it to be one of the prettier and more unique promos that ETBs have featured, and while I sadly don't have Shaman despite trying desperately in real life to get one because I like to get items for these videos in person so I can spot check how they look, I do have the second ever ETB promo. It's this Shining Ho-Oh from the Shining Legends Elite Trainer box, and it's even sealed. Would you look at that? This was a fun little pickup from one of my nearby LGS, especially because I had been on the lookout for this beauty, and you never know what you're going to find when you go singles hunting, which is a topic worth making a video about on its own. For more recent promos, Charmander here from the Obsidian Flames box is a modern gem, and is, again, actually part of another couple of topics I'll be covering in future videos. But don't mind me, I'm just laying my digital breadcrumbs everywhere for future viewers to follow eventually. While not every ETB promo has been as appealing to collect as Charmander has, they're generally well regarded and have some delightful arts like with this Mimikyu from the Paldean Fates box. Some of the earlier ETB promos are also worth a decent amount if you want to pick them up in sealed or near mint condition. And while most Elite Trainer box promos fall into the higher end of what's considered low-end singles, one particular ETB promo has gained quite the following and as such, quite a price. That being the Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno GX Tag Team Full Art from the Hidden Fates ETB. It has had a roller coaster of a journey in price, being the only ungraded ETB promo I've found that has eclipsed triple-digit pricing. I had multiple opportunities to pick this up over the past little bit, and it's been a big kick in the butt to see it shoot up in price, when even back when it was cheaper, I was hesitant to pick one up, though I love the art and overall design of it. Perhaps it'll be one of those white whale cards for me over my collecting career. Who knows though? If this channel gets big enough, maybe we can revisit some topics in the future with a bit more funding. The promos included in the post-Scarlet and Violet era Pokémon Center ETBs have a PC stamp in the bottom right corner, and I've actually seen these stamped Pokémon Center promos be brought up in conversations as modern-day first edition cards. Generally though, this is in Pokémon investing subreddits, so take that idea with a grain of salt. It seems to me to be mostly a sales pitch that third-party sellers have conjured up to try and raise the value of stamped promos even further beyond where they are now. But I suppose it comes down to taste at the end of the day, really. I'm not personally a fan of the look of the stamps, but some people prefer it, and they're technically much lower print run promos, so they're inherently worth more in that regard, but I don't, in my opinion, think they should cost as much more than the regular print promos as they do. But, and say it with me again everyone, stamped cards are a great topic for another video, so I won't go into too much detail on it here. Seeing as how I have a whole video on the channel covering the topic of sleeves with a bit of time spent discussing ETB sleeves in it, I won't belabor the point here, but it is worth mentioning that the sleeves included in Elite Trainer boxes are typically wonderful. Not in terms of build quality, but in terms of art and design. Some of them even go for quite a high price on their own, with some of the older Elite Trainer boxes like the XY Primal Clash set of boxes and sleeves. Also, did you know? Japan occasionally gets their own sets of ETBs, though they aren't called that over there. They're called Premium Trainer boxes, and they have their own sets of goodies held within them. PTBs do have the usual markers, energy cards, and packs, but they get a ton of packs. 20 in fact. Which, yeah, that's more than 9. But do keep in mind the Japanese packs are 5 cards instead of our 10, and they don't get an energy or code card. But if you're buying a premium trainer box that has over 100 energies included in it, you don't really care about the lack of one in your pack, do you? I'd bet the Japanese market would like to have code cards though. PTBs also have guaranteed cards in each box, kind of like our promo system, except for PTBs it's multiple cards as a playset typically. And they're not exclusive to the box, but them being reprints of cards from other sets that were newish at the time of production. The V-Star Premium Trainer box even came with a little case to hold all 34 acrylic damage counters that came in the box. While Western ETBs are definitely aimed at helping newer or veteran players build out and have a place to store their collection, the Japanese PTBs seem particularly equipped to do so, at least on the building your collection front. Not so much the storing at one, as their boxes don't always include sleeves and never have dividers, so they're almost like our build and battle boxes, but with more inside. Much more. Having said all of that so far though, the crux of this video aside from the history lesson I believe comes down to one question. Are Elite Trainer boxes worth it? You'll note we haven't really touched on the most valuable part of the boxes themselves, the packs. On that basis alone, with all the other frivolities removed from the package, is an ETB worth it if you just want the packs, which is the case for most people who want an ETB and actually enjoy opening packs and collecting cards? I would say it depends on your trust level with loose packs. If you have no trust for loose packs out of booster boxes or various other products online or at an LGS/convention, then yes, a sealed ETB is worth it. You can't beat having the assurance that the packs you're buying haven't been tampered with in some form or fashion, though that is changing in recent times with sealed products getting scanned and mapped, even if there's been slow progress on that front since the announcement that it was happening. Plus, resealing does exist. But that aside, and it's in my opinion there's a below 1% chance that that even occurs with a product that you're buying right now, There is a lot of inherent value to having a sealed Elite Trainer box if you want non-tampered with packs for almost certain, especially if you can get one for retail prices. Now, if you're a freak like me or you play the game competitively and you maybe don't care about the packs inside because you buy singles and collect the accessories on their own, then I'd say they're not worth it. It's a hard sell to me at this point to buy packs and open them for a random chance at cards, particularly at the price point that ETBs bring to them. I'm also the kind of sicko that collects the boxes themselves, but even then it's a difficult thought for me to spend the high price of a sealed ETB on random chance packs instead of what I want directly, despite the fact that some people claim that ETBs have better hit rates. Which, come on y'all. Pokemon has been built on urban myths since the beginning, and this is just another one of them. Before we wrap up, I will touch on something mentioned briefly in this past paragraph. If you singularly like the art of Elite Trainer boxes, or the sleeves, the promos, or even the counters and dice, you could be much better served by just buying pack and plastic wrap stripped ETBs that have already been opened on sites like eBay. I look around for them a decent bit, and you can find ETB sleeve lots, coin and counter lots for the boxes themselves with the cardboard sleeves still sometimes even, and while it's not going to have the same worth or ooh fancy factor that a sealed ETB does, I'm of the mind that the money saved is well worth it compared to dropping the sometimes astronomical amounts of money more on a sealed box because it has packs and some plastic wrap because, let's be honest, the packs inside don't really matter at that point if you're throwing it in a box to look at it forever. Those packs are never seeing the light of day in that case anyway, so you might as well just buy an empty box. Now, if you're actually looking for modern or older ETBs to crack them open and enjoy the spoils of your triple or quadruple digit conquest, then hats off to you. I can't financially back that decision myself, but I will in spirit and say Godspeed to you. I wish you all the luck in the world. Please sell me the sleeve packs when you're done with the actual packs. Thanks. So whether you want an ETB for the packs inside, the art outside, or anything in between, hopefully now you have a bit more of an appreciation for the history of the product. Starting back with the odd and now very expensive Plasma Storm up through to the modern day, Elite Trainer boxes have continued to be one of the most beloved and also maligned products in the TCG, and for good reason on both sides. They have incredible collectability, but incur such a high price tag that it's a hard sell unless you really want the packs held within. If not, do yourself the favor and don't buy them, or buy opened ones with the products you're actually looking for. I have a very small collection of them myself because even I, the Pokemon TCG YouTube guy, have a hard time justifying the price. But if you don't have to justify the price, or you just think they're neat, it's hard to go wrong with an ETB and the joy that they can bring.